Flato regarded himself as a philosopher. He was a celebrated party decoration, gracing the dinner gatherings near and far, from birthday parties to symposiums and panel discussions. Beaming up at the curmudgeons of Christmas, he expanded and postulated with the aid of a helium tank and a few friends on the idea of love. At night, on the bed of rock in his new flat, he dreamed of the day when he would understand the true meaning of love beyond the float through the exosphere of cosmic implications. During the most recent interview, he had been asked what he wanted for Christmas. A new string, an inflation, air to breathe, rebirth. Flato was feeling a little flat next to the crush of Christmas emails. The leak in the once fastidious foil of his canary yellow cranium had gained momentum, creating a state of gaseous expulsions, heliuminized spaces. This, in turn, brought the voice of reason to a feverishly high pitch. It was then that Flato ballooned toward the idea of the dinner party, aka the Symposium, along with his mentor and best friend, Socrates the cat. Subject, love. Time of dinner party begins 6 p.m. Don't be late! So then love, in general, exercises a multifarious and great, or to speak more accurately, an omnipotent sway. But it is the love whose object is good and whose fulfillment is attended by sobriety and virtue, whether in heaven or earth, that possesses the greater power, and is the author of all our happiness, makes it possible for us to live in harmony and concord. Agathon, as it happened, was sitting by herself at the bottom table, and cried out, "Come and sit here beside me, Socrates, and let me, by contact with you, enjoy the discovery which you made in the porch. You must obviously have found the answer to your problem and pinned it down. You wouldn't have desisted till you'd had." Socrates sat down and said, "It would be very nice, Agathon, if wisdom were like water, and flowed by contact out of a person who has more into one who has less, just as water can be made to pass through a thread of wool out of the fuller of 2 cups into the emptier. If that applies to wisdom, I value the privilege of sitting beside you very highly, for I have no doubt that you will fill me with an ample draught of the finest wisdom." Subject of the love of drinking. After this, everyone agreed that the present party should not be pushed to the point of drunkenness, but that we should drink merely as we felt inclined. "Since, then, we have come to this decision," said Eurysmachus, "that each man shall drink merely as much as he chooses, and that there shall be no compulsion, I propose, in addition, that we should send away the flute girl who has just come in. Let her play to herself, or, if she likes, to the women of the household, and entertain ourselves today with conversation. If you ask on what subject, I have a proposal to make about that too, if you care to hear it. If you agree, we shall not need anything beyond conversation to occupy us. My proposal is that each of us, going from left to right, should make the best speech he can in praise of love." "Nobody will vote against your proposal," said Socrates. "I certainly shall not, for I declare that love is the only subject that I understand, nor will Agathon and Pausanias, I am sure." Love, a quote from Albert Einstein. "Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. Reality without technology, circumspect. Technology without the link to the natural is invasive." Love, in Plato's time, was very much linked to creation of the earth, creation theories about the Athenian gods, the Greek gods. Now, world religions embrace the same concept for a kind of guidance of spirituality, an antithesis of hate, the hope. Let's follow the markings now, away from Socrates and the philosophers for a little while. Down the hall. Here we go. Some singing, radio announcing, beautiful decorations, lovely. Oh, round the corner, there's another marking. Navigate forward. Come on in out of the cold, doors open, and meet the Snowglobe family, Part 2. Persona and his family inhabited a snow globe on a nice section of the globe, Rosie. For these snow people, Christmas and all of life remained the same year after year without any threat of change in any direction. Every once in a while their world turned upside down or was shaken, and they knew they could expect snow. No need for a weather channel, and synthetic snow is hardy. Secure, happy, comfortable, and still, they grinned from inside their glass ball from a harvest table platform facing the large screen HD TV. From this point, they had ample views of all manner of things, magnified and distorted slightly thanks to the curvature of the glass and the screen. For Alan Persona and his family, this was enough. This was peace, love, happiness. Something changed. First, there was the book propped up behind the glass just out of the direct line of vision. "Who stuck that there?" said Mrs. Persona, Pat. Next, there was the art, a watercolor painting, next to a shiny satin scarlet cloth. This is when the questions began, as conditions in the abode no longer seemed so pristine, so perfect. Discontent set in like a kind of malaise. Moves shifted. Simplicity melted. "Something is wrong," said Persona. "Yeah, Dad." "What is it?" said the first snow child. "What does the word grimace mean?" said the second snow child. "It seems we know less than what we thought," said Pat. "True," the general consensus. The eureka moment had arrived just nearly on time, but it was still not too late. The peace lily. "Do you see it?" "Yes, I can see it in my peripheral vision." "Good. Tell us more," said the parents to the children. "Looks like love," said the first snow child. "Adventure, soft, strong color, curves and lines, skill too," said the second. "Much more than us," they said. At that moment, the outside came in and looked a bit like this. Could it be that we are this too? "Wow," said the children. "Yes," said the parents. Then one of the humans turned the key on the side of the figurine, and the music played. It played softly, then got stronger. Batteries were added as they began to fade, and the lights, too, went on inside the globe. How snow globe families will travel if conditions are right. It was a very, very Merry Christmas. And yes, there was a light dusting of snow. The antithesis of hate. La 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 la. The rituals, hymns, music, dining, get-togethers, all part of how we express, we discover the essence of love. Enjoy this musical interlude. time, 5 a.m., Socrates, still wide awake, conversing with two others on topics of interest. The topic of love goes like this.
Our place of residence this morning after the ice
Quote,
storm.
but the main point was that Socrates was compelling them to admit that the man who knew how to write a comedy could also write a tragedy, and that a skillful tragic writer was capable of being also a comic writer. They were giving way to his arguments, which they didn't follow very well, and nodding. Folks, hope you enjoyed the show. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Peace.